I'm Bea.
And I'm Sam.
And we're two best friends who like to talk shit about smut, wingspan,
And sometimes books.
Join us every Wednesday for a new episode.
We are live.
Oh, you've been practicing that, haven't you?
Oh, I've missed it. I do it in the house sometimes just because I can't do it to you.
Oh, 2 months off, you've been warming up those vocal cords, haven't you?
So we haven't sat in this garage. It looks like a studio. It looks like a studio, but it is just my garage.
Believe it or not, guys, I'm not in the House of Wind library getting railed by a 6'5" Lonergan.
Getting railed by two. Sorry, we haven't sat like this since the 17th of December.
Jesus wept.
And in the real world, even though this comes out in February, today is the 27th of January.
Yeah, so everything we felt weird because every episode, not that we don't really re-listen, no offense, but like
no offense to us, no, we're not re-listening.
After you've edited us and you are us and this is how we talk all the time.
Yeah,
it's a lot. But at the beginning of like so many episodes, we've been saying, guys, this is pre-recorded, and it was like we've literally had like nearly 12 weeks. No.
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 No. It's been like 5 weeks.
5 weeks. That's a long time. It feels like 12.
Yeah. I've missed you. I've missed this.
Yeah, even though we've seen each other, we haven't done this.
We celebrated New Year's together again.
We did. Oh, that's like a little tradition now, isn't it?
Rung in the year together.
Better book me up for next year. I might be busy.
Do you know, I do not know where to start. So we've got so many updates.
So forewarning, guys, if you're looking at the length of this episode, it's one, because we've got a lot to catch up on, but two, we're doing 2 books in one in this episode. We've never done that before. So we are doing, is it called The Prophecy of the Mage Queen series by Alyssa Lonergan. It was one of our author spotlights. You see us talk about this book series all the time, and we were like, we need to get it into season 1. And thankfully, stars have aligned, and we are interviewing Alyssa.
We're recording Alyssa without her knowledge.
When are we doing that?
13th February, we're actually sitting down with her.
Oh, okay. So a while away.
And then the episode comes out on...
Oh, we're doing two books then, Alyssa?
Yeah.
Ah, I was like, whoa, that's ages away, but...
The episode comes out on like the 21st, I'm guessing. I don't know.
Something like that.
It's not the 21st. It's the Wednesday before the 21st. The 21st is a Friday, so it's the 19th.
There we go. So that's why today's episode is a long one, because it's 2 books.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a hot minute. Yeah. But we've got a lot of things to talk about.
We do.
Where do we start?
Housekeeping.
Should we start with Patreon?
Yes.
Right.
Because you have all given us the best Christmas gifts by subscribing to our Patreon.
It's been like, when we say popping off, right, everybody's definition of popping off is very different, right? But for us, like, we only ever started doing this because there were so many extra episodes we wanted to release, but we can only, it's not we could give you more than one a week, but like,
you might be sick of us then. Like, oh great, I've got 42 episodes to catch up on.
Yeah. So the one a week, I think, is like a good thing. So we only, for months and months and months and months, it was just me and Sam subscribed to our own Patreon, paying Patreon fee. To be honest, we just would have been better putting that money straight into a bank account, but it was just for the novelty.
Supporting the girlies.
Because Patreon take like 10% off the top of it, so you might as well just put the £7 into whatever it is, £6 into the bank. Anyway, so but then all of a sudden, gradually, you guys have slowly started like joining, which is amazing. And in the 5 weeks we've been off, it's just been a bit of like a yeah, which is amazing. We love it.
Yeah.
So there's actually 3 people that we need to catch up on in terms of Patreon subscribers. So first of all, thank you to Jennifer for supporting us via Patreon. Thank you to Lauren for supporting us via Patreon. And then we always send our Patreon members direct messages if you want to give you the option to like give your Instagram handles. Not everybody wants to do it, that's fine, because some people's social medias are not like book talk accounts.
Yeah.
But then also thank you to Isabel. And so thank you to Jennifer, thank you to Lauren, and thank you to Isabel for your support. Everything, we say this all the time, but everything that comes through Patreon goes back into the podcast. Our like end goal, or not end goal, but like our goal is to maybe get some new mics at some point.
We've got hand-me-down mics.
We have.
And it would be good
to get some actual podcasting mics.
Yes, proper ones.
Because that's not what these are. These are really music recording mics, streaming mics.
And I know I do sing a lot, so...
yeah. But if you saw the amount of like fine-tuning we have to put to make these mics work, it would just be good if we could like...
I agree.
And maybe one day use Riverside.
Yeah.
And save everyone a... Anyway.
Yeah.
But thank you to Patreon, because that's exactly what...
Yeah. That is what your money is doing.
This is a result of Patreon contribution.
He is pointing to our backdrop.
My House of Wind. Sam's beautiful Valaris window, backdrop. Everything you see is a result of Patreon.
Yeah.
So we're really grateful. Sometimes people say, like, what are other ways we can help support your podcast? Because we appreciate that monetary contributions are like...
Yeah, not everyone can do it.
Cosy Live Skies, we all can't be doing it. If you want free ways to support a podcast... download our episodes instead of just streaming them.
Yeah, whatever you listen on, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, the podcasts app, Audible,
Podbean, Pocket Cast,
whatever you listen on, even if you just download an episode, it counts to our numbers. It means we get advertising opportunities.
Yes,
and it just helps us in the long run get into the charts and.
Yeah, it all like contributes to it. And like, even if you don't listen to the episodes, please, you can just download them. You can set our episodes up to auto-download every week, and you can just delete them straight after. It doesn't uncount your download. Other ways is to
leave us a review.
Reviews are,
if you don't mind.
Reviews on Apple and Spotify, and I think other podcast platforms like Pocket Cast, you can, Podbean, you can, but mainly Apple and Spotify. Again, all those things help them push us onto like the home pages, which then help with downloads, which then mean we can do more things with this podcast for you guys. It means better quality for everyone.
Yeah. If you want to support us, join our Discord, get involved in the conversations on there. It's not just for a read along. We have set it up as our book club, but you can also talk to us about your theories on books. You can give your recommendations of what to read next, your recommendations of what we should do on the podcast. You can chat about individual episodes with people. We've grown a really nice community on there.
Lovely, yeah.
People who are genuinely interested in the books that we're talking about and want to create a community. And I hope that's what I hope that the people that have joined our Discord so far feel that sense of community.
Yeah, it's not just a Discord about this podcast. It's about the books that we all want to read and the books we recommend. And like Sam said, there's threads, channels for every episode. So like, you're not going to risk, if you haven't listened to everything, you're not going to risk seeing any spoilers. There's really clever ways on Discord that you can like block out words, so like you won't see any spoilers. So it's a really good place where like anyone can join, even if you've only listened to like one episode, or you're just looking for like a book club sort of type environment for good fantasy romantasy recommendations. Even if you don't listen to us, you can still just join it and talk about books. And there's even like a pet channel. Upload your cute pets.
Reading buddies.
Reading buddies, that's what it's called.
And you shouldn't get anything spoiled for you. We've got moderators now. I made Caitlin and Grace, who are two of our friends across the pond in the US. I just made the managers of our Discord so that if anybody like posts spoilers or posts nasty comments, that they can remove them. They can remove the people from our Discord. They just get like managerial rights, but I didn't ask them if they wanted those rights.
They just got told. They just got given
promoted.
Congrats.
I will tell them. I'll speak to them.
I think Grace knows now, doesn't she?
We were on live,
but not Caitlin. Funny.
It must give them a notification. They must
know. I'm so bad. My knowledge of Discord is like nothing.
Same. But it is where our TOG reread is going to happen. We'll obviously block out any spoilers, but for people to read along with us.
Yeah, we're both going to reread Throne of Glass for this reread. So we will be live rereading with you or reading with you. So obviously we're going to be like blowing up Discord.
Yeah, might want to turn your notifications off.
When it comes. So if you want like to live the Throne of Glass experience, that's the place to be.
Yeah. Other updates, other exciting news. We have become affiliates with Bloom Stories, who are like a spicy audible. So they have created a spicy audiobook of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. So they reached out to us and said, like, would you be interested in promoting this and working with us? So we said yes. But that's not all they do. They sort of do like role-playing channels where like it's like pre-recorded like smut that you can like, and it's like, but it's interactive, like you can use it with a partner. I haven't delved into everything on there, I'll be honest. There's short stories which are like smutty short stories.
So much on there.
Oh my god, so much content. Like that's why I haven't gone through it all, because I can't get my head around it. There's so much on there. But they are releasing, it'll be released by the time this episode comes out.
It's out.
Jane Austen's Spicy Pride and Prejudice.
And the plan is they haven't released any like titles yet, but they're going to be doing more of this spicy romantasy audiobook style releases. So, you know, definitely stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot more available than just Pride and Prejudice very soon. You can get
discount through our affiliated link, which is in our link tree, or by using the code APOSAW.
APOSAW.
B said that nice and slow so everyone could jot it down.
Just for you, that's why I said it.
And that will give you discount on your memberships if you wanted to become a member. We're going to do a giveaway of Pride and Prejudice books.
It'll be up probably by this episode is.
So not only have they created a spicy audiobook, they've recreated the book. They've got special edition books, which are Bloom Stories specific. They are sprayed edges. They are coloured overlays.
Yeah.
They are inside cover art.
M-page art.
They are M-page art. They are stunning.
And it's the spicy version. So it has the printed spicy scenes in it.
Yeah. Extended spice.
Ugh. So excited. So they've given us 2 to give away. So we're doing a TikTok and an Instagram giveaway. Yeah. So if you follow us on either of those, go check out us to enter. All the info how to enter the giveaway will be in those individual videos.
Yeah. So yeah, really excited to be working with Bloom Stories and excited to see what other audiobooks are coming.
Yeah. Do we have anything else? Let's do our is that everything?
Do you want to talk about your book?
Oh, if you want, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a little author interview.
Mm-hmm.
So, B.A. Pepper.
God.
How was the writing hiatus?
It was good. It was good. In my head, I really thought I'd get draft 1 done. Like, maybe that was naive to think that, but I did. It's not done as of the 27th of January, which is today, we're recording. However, I did... Not in that 2 weeks I had to write, I also got a lot of like just shit done that you need to get
admin.
Yeah, admin. It just takes fucking ages to like research stuff and book stuff. Anyway, I booked an editor who I'm really excited to work with, and they need my first draft by the beginning of March. So I am currently in like my own version of lockdown minus podcasting.
Minus reading, because we've got so many books to read for the podcast.
Well, only 2 more.
Yeah.
But like I'm just keeping it to a minimum.
Yeah.
As of right now, I'm trying to stay off of social media as much as I can, because I am like head down in draft 1. I am as of right now 2,000 words shy, 50% of the way through.
Woo!
And like I've written, so since I started my 2-week writing retreat, I've written 30,000 words.
Amazing.
So like we're cooking.
Yeah.
Like I didn't just sit around and do nothing.
And like you've booked your cover artist, you've booked your editor, you've got
put it up for pre-order.
Yeah.
It's live.
It's a real book. It's on Goodreads.
So Sam's gonna get it like end of Feb, beginning of March to beta read, and then it's going off to the editor. It's due for release 31st of October of this year, Halloween.
Spooky.
It's up on Amazon for pre-orders and on Goodreads if you want to add it to your like bookshelf. All the links are in my author link tree, which is b.a.pepperauthor on Instagram and TikTok. I've also, like you said, booked a cover artist. So I'm going to be doing a cover reveal team going. So if you want to be a part of my cover reveal team, you can sign up to that via my Linktree. You can win a signed paperback if you do, when the book releases, obviously, like not right now. And
you mean practicing your signature for how?
No, when I need to do it because I don't know what it's going to be. I was thinking, but like BAP was what people used to call me when they bullied me in school. So I don't know if I
trauma.
But so I think I was just going to do like a really fancy BP.
Nice.
I don't know, maybe. I've been watching a lot of Brandon Sanderson videos, where he just talks to the camera inside. Have you ever seen them?
No.
Oh my God. So Brandon Sanderson, like, because he's just like a multi-million-pound author, he like films himself talking about other things, but he'll just be in a warehouse signing like 1,000 books as he doesn't even look up, and somebody's putting the book in front of him, so opens the book, moves it, so he just keeps his hand like this and he just goes like this, and he just talks about like his writing process, or like just something like Mistborn or something, and he's just like this, but his signature is like immaculate, and he just does this for like just non-stop. It's really funny.
Is that going to be my job, to open the book and move it in front of you? Okay, cool.
So as I said, Daughter of Stone is coming out this year. It'd be great if you want to support me. I'd really appreciate it. A lot of you already have. We're already on 35 fucking pre-orders, which is wild. And I'm going to be doing special editions. There'll be more info on that when the time comes. If you want to be part of my cover reveal team, you can. You might win a signed paperback. You can be a part of my ARC team. There's options to sign up for my ARC and Street team in my cover reveal sign up form. I don't know, have I forgotten anything else?
I don't think so. I think I sussed my mic
every time.
I love a little sus.
I think that's everything, but it'd be great if you could support it. I really appreciate it, and I don't think it'll come as a surprise. We'll probably end up doing an episode on it at the end of the year.
Yeah, I've got some fun ideas for an episode. B is not looking forward to finding out what I've been cooking.
So you will hopefully have it very soon, end of Feb, beginning of March. But bad news is you're probably going to have to turn it around in like a day. We all know you can do it.
Yeah, just when you've got a firm date, let me know. I'll book it off work.
Take a day off for it. It's kind of book related, but not really. Because of the fact I am writing every evening, we've been doing a lot of writing and reading sprints on TikTok Live. So like pretty much like not every night, but like
every weeknight, nearly.
Almost, apart from Mondays, because now we record again.
Yeah.
Every week, and like me and Sam are going live on the podcast account for you and on my author account. So if you follow us on either of those, we're there. And we're doing reading and writing sprints, but we also just talk about books with people, and it's been lovely. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. So if you...
Everyone helped me pick the pink colour for my kitchen.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. So if you want to come have like cute conversations like that and just talk...
If you want to come and decorate my house for me.
Yeah. We're doing those. So yeah, like follow us on TikTok to join those as well. Sorry.
What are you currently reading?
Nothing. I'm not reading anything at the moment because I don't have the bandwidth to be able to read and write more than what I'm reading for the podcast. Like I can only read one book right now, and they're taking me a hot minute to read because of writing is taking the precedence. So I just back-to-back read A Vow of Lies and A Vow of Spies by Lonergan, which is what we're talking about today. And then my next two books are A Vow of
Magic,
thank you,
and A Vow of Promise,
which are the next two books.
Yeah.
Once like end of Feb, beginning of March is done and draft one is in, I've got my time back.
Yeah.
And even when I'm in edits, I'll have more time. It's just because I've been on such a tight deadline to get this in for end of Feb, beginning of March.
Yeah.
So the answer is nothing.
That's fine.
Because we've been away and we've not really seen each other, we've not been podcasting, you've been like a fucking maniac.
It's because, like, I've got nothing to do. Like, we pre-recorded everything. We pre-edited most of it. And then I was just like, cool, got nothing to do. So I read, like, 13 books in December.
Wild.
I think I'm on book 12. I'm on book 11 and 12 for January so far. Yeah. I'm currently reading, very fortunately, because it's not actually out yet.
Oh, yes.
I'm reading book 4 of Alyssa Lonergan's series. So today is the 27th of January. It comes out on the 31st.
Yeah.
So it's coming. By the time this episode comes out, it'll be out. But she sent it to me early.
She did.
Well, she sent it to us early, but you couldn't read it because you're not there yet.
Not there yet, but yeah.
So Yeah, I'm reading book 4, which is Vow of Promise.
We'll be back after a quick break.
And welcome back to another episode of By Its Cover. I'm your host, Katie.
I'm Jake.
And you've started listening to By Its Cover. How did our intro go?
I know it's kind of funny, though, that you can't get it.
I can't get it. Oh, I know why. Okay. And welcome back to another episode of By Its Cover, a podcast where we pick out books by their cover,
Read them.
consume them,
Read them.
and then we talk about them on the show. I'm
Heck
your
yeah.
host, Katie.
Oh, we're starting over.
No.
I'm Jake.
Yep.
And I'm also audiobooking One Dark Window.
Yeah.
Which I'm really fucking
You've
enjoying.
ate that up. I've heard such good things about that duology. I've not heard a bad word.
Yeah, I think once your book is with the editor and you have time, I've got a lot of books for you to read because I've smashed out like 26 books in 2 months.
My priorities are Onyx Storm.
Yes, for anyone who is on the Onyx Storm train,
yeah,
I ate it up in 2 days and I gave it 4 stars.
We are going to do an episode, guys. It is coming, we promise. But
more like April, May.
Yeah, we just like. Well, it was never going to fit in before the end of season 1, and then we've got 8 weeks of Tog, and then we've got a couple of things straight after Tog that we've sort of planned. I thought we were going to do the 3rd Chris K. Haynes book.
Oh yeah. That we've got things planned, but like we can do Onyx Storm.
But we are going to do Onyx Storm is up there, it's coming, guys. We just
So the real reason we're here
Why
after
are we here?
that stinking long why do I keep saying stinking
you said
today?
that earlier by a text from me.
Yeah,
I was like,
and you were like stinking, but I didn't mean it like stinking in a bad way. I meant stinking in a good way.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard stinking in a good way. Only like, he's stinking, you know, like that kind of stinking, you know.
The real reason we're here is to talk about Alyssa Lonergan's series Prophecy of the Mage Queen.
Yes.
Now, if you listen to our author spotlights, you've sort of heard my opinion on the first book.
Yes.
So do you want to start with any hot takes?
I don't think, like, honestly, right, after finishing both these books, I don't think I have any hot takes because I just fucking loved it. Like, not that we've, you know, there's been literally like one series.
That shall remain nameless.
Am I having a stroke?
I think so.
Okay. I texted Sam earlier just to make you aware. I had a lobotomy. That is me at the moment. I have no brain whatsoever.
His brain has been passed through a sieve.
Literally. And then shat out again.
We don't do books that we don't love. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah. So we wouldn't be here if we didn't fucking love this series or book, right? But obviously I didn't read it for the author spotlight you did.
Yeah,
I loved it. I don't feel like I got a hot take because it was just fucking class. I just ate them up. I literally devoured them so quickly, even though it took me a long time in terms of days. The actual, like, if you added up my time reading, I probably read them both in like 5 hours each, 6 hours each. Yeah, I was very much like you after the end of book 1, where I didn't have a fucking clue where it was going. Honestly, do I, even after 2 books, do I still know where it's going? Not fucking really.
Well, after book 1, so if you're listening to this, you've read book 1 and 2.
Or you're just happy to be spoiled.
Yeah. 1 obviously ends with the priestesses in her chamber with a knife to her, like, her assistant.
It's sort of handmade, I guess. Yeah,
for lack of a better term. Knife to her throat.
Yeah.
And I was like, you bitches. You fucking double-crossing bitches.
Like, I loved it, but I was also a little bit sad because Juniper obviously has no one. She's had such a fucking miserable life up until that point. And the only 3 people that had really been nice to her and she'd formed any kind of bond with was Reva, Ash, and Grove. So when you potentially think that they have double-crossed her at the end of book 1, it was a class ending, but I was really sad because I was like, I actually really loved their little girl gang. It was really
like
cute.
the little dynamic, and like that they took her under their wing and were like, you know, use our bath, use our bathroom, like use our what's this thing to stop your period pains?
Oh, moon
root.
Yes, yeah.
Like, use our moon root. I was like, oh, you double crossing little conniving bitches.
But obviously, that's not the case.
Yes.
But yeah, my hot take, like, I'd say the first third of book 1 is all the kind of premise that you said in the author spotlight, where Juniper's, for whatever reason, her parents fucking sold her to this queen.
Wild. I can't fathom that.
Well, my suspicion is they didn't give her. I don't think it was like, I think she was stolen. I don't think it was like, just sell my child.
Yeah.
That's my hot take. Not really hot. Quite lukewarm.
My tepid take.
Very tepid take. But she's obviously made to be this kind of priestess, but no one really fucking knows what they're worshipping or what they're doing. They're not really priestesses.
And it's like, oh, we'll just make something up to put in the book.
Just to keep them fucking busy. That's why there's no gods, there's no religion. Just keep them, everyone else probably thinks there's fucking betters over there. Like, because obviously when she does meet the three girls, they go out, don't they, together, spreading the word. So the commoners are like, who are these fucking lunatics? With the red book, or is it red?
I can't remember
the red, but yeah, like, what are you fucking on about? Because yeah, and then obviously the queen has these priests, which are really just to how to put it politely,
her harem,
her saddles,
in the
words of Raven Kennedy. They just her harem of men.
She just shags on rotation.
Yeah, so
get it, girl.
Yeah, doesn't she fucking chop Alric's balls off? He's a eunuch. Is that the word, a eunuch, or is that no Willy a eunuch?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyway,
she castrates.
Castrates.
She castrates him, basically.
Yeah, all the men are castrated because she doesn't want them to get I don't know.
She doesn't want their seed.
You obviously, the first third, I was literally just like, even though I knew what to expect because you told me, I still was like, what the fuck is the point of all this? I definitely feel like I cottoned on to like, what's the woman called who's like the person she looks after, the keeper. You know, she kept saying looking at her felt uncomfortable, and if like I was like, there's something dodge going on there because I don't think she is who she used to be. And obviously all of a sudden all these people start fucking talking to Juniper. She's been living there for like 10 years and no one said a word to her. And in the space of like a week, everyone's like, hi. And she's like, what? And everyone's like, hi. And she's like, and like not just anyone, like sexy men.
When is it Alric?
Alric, yeah.
Was it Alric?
I think it's A-L.
Okay, Alric. When he starts talking to her and she's a bit like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
yeah. So then, obviously, she meets the three other girls, Grove, Ash, and Riva, and they are also priestesses, but
treated a lot fucking better than she is.
A lavish life. And they fuck off to go get a book rewritten or something. I don't know.
She's not allowed because she's bleeding, and that's unsanitary.
There's a lot of things. I don't think even at the end of book 2, I still fully understand what's happening with the bell and the clock tower.
So I think this. I'm not spoiling anything because this is just what I think. I think they knew she had magic.
Yeah.
And the vibrations of the clock were like tampering with her like magical energy because obviously it would like knock her off kilter. She'd fall over and smack her head on the floor.
Yeah, fuck her up.
So I think the sort of vibrations of the clock were messing with her like aura energy of magic, like the vibrations of the magic through her were getting thrown off by the clock tower. So I think that was like the worst form of punishment they could have given her, to put her underneath that clock.
So obviously the other three girls have had a very different life, and obviously a lot changes when she eventually gets moved in with the other three girls and so on, and then the fucking castle gets broken into.
They're not just broken into, there's like bombs going off.
They blow up the clock, they blow up the bell tower, don't they? They blow it up. And and then I thought the hooded man would be Alric, personally. That's what I thought it would be. I kind of thought that's who it is.
Although you did text me and say Alric is suspicious.
Oh, he is. I'm still suspicious of him after 2 books. Yeah, he was suspicious. And obviously you do get the vibe that the three girls know something's going on bigger. And
one of them says, like, don't go in my room.
Oh, yeah, she said, but when we find out why. But
like, she's got all the weapons in there.
Because they're actually spying.
Yeah, they're spies.
So obviously we find out that this hooded man, it turns out it's not Alric.
Yeah.
It's somebody else called, how are we saying it? Riven.
Yeah, I've been saying Riven.
And he's actually really our MMC.
Grumpy.
Yeah. And he takes Juniper from the castle, go on a bit of a journey to where effectively the rebellion is like hiding out, We don't get a name for it, do we?
It's like in a tree, though, isn't it? Or like
I thought it was a cave.
I think it's like you go into a tree and then you're in a system of caves.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure you go through like a tree route to get into it.
Okay.
He's like a horse whisperer, isn't he?
Is he?
Ivan.
Like,
He can sort of like calm the horses down.
I just think because he's got a big cock.
Oh, okay. There we are then.
Maybe he's a horse whisperer. I don't know. I didn't get that vibe, but maybe.
And when they get there, they're met by Leo.
Yeah, he's lovely.
He's so sweet.
Pretty much everyone else there hates her, but he's lovely.
Yeah, basically, Juniper's not welcome.
No, they fucking hate her.
Because nobody believes that she's the queen.
She doesn't believe she's the queen.
Yeah, to be fair.
I mean, you know, she's not fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Like, which is fair. But yeah, she basically arrives at the rebellion, which is like in these caves. And Riven is miserable.
Very miserable.
To say the least. He is grumpy.
Grumpy.
Refuses to train her.
Yeah, which she's damping about.
Yeah, because she's like, why am I here? What am I doing? Am I just sitting around all day in this room, like fucking looking pretty? Because
talking about everybody hating her, somebody hates her a lot more than everybody else hates her.
Oh, I can't remember her name now, but yeah.
Somebody tries to kill her, basically.
Yeah, she's literally there for like not even a day, and someone pushes her down the stairs and nearly kills her. And then they don't really know who it is, but they kind of assume that it's, I can't remember her name, I'm so sorry. But she's
like the general of an army, the archeries, yeah.
And Riven's ex, I wouldn't say girlfriend, but like,
but she shared the rooms with Riven.
Yeah, so in this cave system, the only like two, I don't know, they're the only two rooms, because obviously all these people live there, but like the only rooms that are deemed like worthy enough and have like a bath basically is Riven's room and another room, and it was always intended for the Mage Queen, but they could never find her. So Riven's ex partner girlfriend, who was the general of the army, gets this room for ages, and it just so happens to be connected with Riven via like a sexy, steamy, swampy,
like blue
lagoony wash bath.
The lagoon scenes.
But then obviously, as soon as Juniper shows up, they're like, get the fuck out and go find somewhere else to live. Her and Riven were on bad terms anyway because they've broken up. She's horrible.
Yeah.
She's a salty bitch. And straight away, as soon as she meets Juniper, she's fucking horrible.
Cunt.
So when she's pushed down the stairs, like, Riven and Alric are like, it was probably her. So, for whatever reason, Alric decides to fake date her.
Oh, the fake dating is fucking amazing.
And he just says, like, we're just fake dating. She's like, all right. Like, that's
accepted.
Yeah, like, but he does give the reason, the justification of, like, we need basically, people are obviously got it out for you. This probably isn't going to be the first attack.
Yeah.
If people know that, like, we're dating, they're going to steer clear.
Yeah.
And it gives me an excuse to, like, always be sleeping in your rooms and so on. But obviously the relationship between Juniper and Alric at this point is definitely platonic. I think he probably did have the hots for her.
Yeah, I think so. She's fair, so.
And I think like she probably was a little bit sexually attracted to him.
Yeah.
But she says when Alric touches her, it doesn't like do anything for her. Whereas Riven's only got to look at her and she's like losing her head.
Bottom of your stomach clenches.
Yes. I wouldn't say that's just kind of book one, but it ends with
obviously the priestesses being there.
Yeah, it ends with Reva Grove and Ash showing up. And I've got like a knife to Juniper. She's like a handmaiden, I guess. Livia's throat. And the way it's portrayed at the end of book one, you think that they've double crossed.
Oh, I was furious. I was like, I cannot believe this. I trusted you girls.
I know. I was really sad because if there was people to be suspicious of, it wasn't them.
No.
I thought it'd be
they
Alric.
Looked after her. They gave her the moon route.
They had a lovely bond.
Yeah.
It felt really genuine. So at the end of book one, I was like, not gutted, but like it was a class ending. But I was like, oh my God, like, can't believe it's them because I didn't expect it to be them at all. But obviously then book two, you literally jump from one book to the other and it's scene for scene, starts with, they do have a knife to her throat, but they are still on her side. Really why they're there is they've come to find her. You find out that they were spying for the rebellion the whole time.
Yeah.
And obviously it was those three and Alric that were like, you know, what's the word? Like manipulating the situation in the castle towards the end. And the whole bell tower being blown up situation was all premeditated.
Yes.
And the reason why they show up and put knives to their throats is just a tester.
Yeah,
They're
they
like,
basically
"Oh, surprise.
they basically think she should have been trained and she should be stronger by now and be able to like fight off these attacks. And her and Livia are just sitting there having a picnic.
Literally, like, fuck. And they're like, why aren't you trained? She's like, I've literally been here like a day.
Like, I'm not allowed to.
No. But it does bring up the question of why isn't Riven training her? Because he's dead against her not fighting. He doesn't want her to fight. Alric is the only one that starts to agree to train her. I can't remember now. It's really bad because I only just read them. But there is a scene where her and Alric almost get killed.
Oh, they get like washed away. Like,
but is that in book 1 or book 2? I don't.
Book 2.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the end of book 1. Okay. So I wasn't jumping ahead. So Alric does sort of start to kind of train her.
Yeah, and she's like training herself then in her room. Like she basically watches Riven training the guards and whatever, and then goes back to her room and repeats the exercises. I'm like, get it, girl.
Yeah.
And what we always say we love is when the FMC isn't just strong and badass. Like,
Juniper's shit for a good portion of these books, but like not in a mean way. Like,
but
she would be because she's not.
It's nice to like see her. Yeah, realistic to see her working on herself and trying to get to that level.
And even by the end of this book 2, she's only just starting to get like decent with fighting. That is a bit more realistic because you don't just wake up one day and decide, oh, I'm gonna slaughter everyone.
Yeah. Is book 2 when they start going to the markets?
Yeah. So quite early on-ish in book 2, Olivia says like, you need to go get clothes made. Like, you can't just keep living in whatever the fuck you're living in. So they send her to get clothes made with Sita, is it?
Yeah.
And that's obviously, she gets to experience more of the like, I don't know, society living in the caves is that the word, I guess? Because there's like a tavern, there's everything, you know? But she goes to meet this Sita, they get clothes made, and this Sita decides to basically make her like lingerie. And Juniper's
so
like,
funny.
I'm not fucking going near that.
She like shoves it at the bottom of the trunk.
Yeah,
she won't look at it.
Yeah, because she's like, fuck no. And even some of the training outfits she won't wear that are like leather, she's like, no, I'm not fucking wearing that.
Like the figure hugging stuff.
Yeah. Which again is understandable. She's never like dressed for.
She's been in like a woolen dress for her whole life.
Literally. So those scenes are really lovely. And then at some point, I think again, this is still quite early on, Ash, Grove and Reva convince her that she needs to like go out on the town and blow off some steam.
Yeah. So
they dye her hair with like fucking God knows what.
Like mud,
basically, yeah. So it's black.
Yeah.
And get her to dress up and convince her to go to, they say a tavern, it's actually
a brothel.
A brothel, really. So, I mean, they go out for a good time. Not a long time.
Who goes out for a really good time? Is it Reva? Or is it Ash? I can't remember.
I think it's definitely Ash that ends up like hiring a prostitute but doesn't pay them.
Yeah.
So they have to run out of there. They all basically get shit-faced, and Alric comes into her room the next morning and is like, it smells like a fucking brothel in here.
Yeah.
And because they cause such a scene, like, I don't know, I would want to say dining and dashing, because it was more than dining.
Fucking and chugging.
Fucking and chugging. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Because Ash fucks and chucks and it, obviously causes an uproar. Riven is noted because he's like the commander of the everyone. And Juniper leaves her cloak that was made for the Mage Queen. So like everybody knows she was there, even though she changed her hair. And he goes fucking mental, but he's not happy.
Yeah, he's not happy at all.
And they say to Ash, like, you didn't pay her, and she's like, if you saw how many times she orgasmed, that was enough payment.
Yeah, like I paid it. I paid it.
So
I fucking love Ash.
Yeah, she's really funny. So he's not happy. She's been,
dilly-dallying.
And then one way or another, they basically, and it's mentioned in book 1, I think we mentioned it earlier, that Alric's dad was or is an actual priest.
Yeah, not a pretend one who shags the queen.
No. And am I right that they live in the castle? This castle?
What castle?
Well, the castle that she goes to, and he has all the Spinner speaks to her.
I don't know.
Or did they stumble upon the castle?
They like go like on a voyage there, or like a pilgrimage almost.
Well, they don't know where they're going. It's the magic of the land takes them.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that it was the castle that the priests live in, but maybe it's not.
No, I don't think so. It's the castle where the prophecy of the Mage Queen was first heard.
Yeah.
I think they think it's almost like a worshipping grounds type thing.
But yeah, so they kind of basically realize that these priests haven't shown up and they're effectively missing.
Yeah.
So Ryven says we need to find them because we can't just leave them. And he basically says, everyone's coming but Juniper.
Yeah, basically.
Saddle up everyone but you. You can stay here and do fucking nothing.
And she ain't happy about it.
And like, fair enough. Like,
she's been kept in the dark her whole fucking life.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like,
right, like honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty much until the end third, I wouldn't even say third. Ryben was not a vibe through like the, and I understand. Like, obviously, you learn why, but he was not a vibe through
he's
a good
very
portion
grumpy.
of this. And just like, I don't know, like he doesn't believe she's the Mage Queen, fine, but he doesn't give her a chance to prove that she is.
But he doesn't just give her a chance, like, okay, if you don't think she's the Mage Queen, fine, but she's a human being.
She can
she's
be
a young
something else.
girl who's been tortured and been through a lot of shit. Why are you being so horrible to her?
Because Reva, Ash and Grove were all supposed to be the Mage Queen and then they weren't. But they were able to train and now they work as spies.
Yeah.
So if she isn't the Mage Queen, why not just give her an opportunity? But obviously you learn why, but like he's just not a vibe through a lot of this.
Yeah.
So they are all going to go on this pilgrimage and Juniper's like, abso-fucking-lutely, you're not going without me.
She's a sneaky.
So she cuts off her hair to protect, and she tells Livia, like, I'm in bed sick with, like, the flu, leave me alone. Gets in a fucking suitcase.
And Sita has organised it all.
Yeah,
she's going to be, like, hidden away. And they're like, do we really need to take all this stuff? And she's like, yes.
And hides in a trunk for, like, 2 days.
And she only gets out when she needs a wee.
Yeah, and then gets caught by somebody who drags her to like this local tavern where obviously they've all stopped on their way.
Yeah, because they think she's robbing them.
Yeah, and it's like screaming like, we've got a stowaway. And then you just hear like, I'll handle her. And she turns around and it's Ryven.
Woof.
And Daddy Ryven's not happy. Well, actually, do you know what? He actually is fine about it. Yeah. He's like, I'm just impressed you were able to do it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Remind me, is it book 2? And I don't, if it's not book 2, this isn't much of a spoiler. Is it book 2 that she like crawls through the crevices in the cave
to listen to? She does it all the fucking time.
And it collapses on her.
Yeah, but she does it successfully a few times because she's spying on him for like she learns that's how she learns about the mission. I think
she is master of like spying.
Well, yeah, that's what Alric says. Like she's like, I'm practicing. I know she wants to be a spy, but yeah. That's how she learns about the mission.
And then her and Alric nearly die. Getting washed away by the waves.
Yeah, that was when they were training.
Yeah.
But yeah. So obviously, she, like Ryven's
stowaway. Yeah.
Ryven's not mad about it. He's like, I'm just impressed you're able to do it. And then they were in a tavern, and he's like, well, you're gonna have to share my room because you can't stay anywhere else.
Oh, what a shame!
Oh, what a shame. But what I did, like, a lot of people get hung up on this with like ACOTAR and stuff. Because they're like, when do these people brush their teeth? Like, no. And I'm like, I'm not thinking about that. Like, no. I feel like you don't need to say every single thing that a person would do. Like,
she opened her eyes. She relieved herself. She brushed her teeth. She dressed.
9:01, I brushed my teeth. And then, like, no, you don't have to
assume that they're doing usual things that people do. Like, you can't have every interaction written down.
But he does say to her, do you want a bath now or in the morning? And she's like, nah. I'll just go to bed. But then she just says, yeah, I don't smell great. But she just shares a bed with Ryven anyway. She's obviously got short hair now. He's down hard for the short hair. I think he says, like, she says something about her hair and he's like, and then she says something about it being black when she snuck out. And he's like, I don't care how your hair looks. And he says internally, like, I just fucking love it regardless. Yeah. But obviously, you know, I was thinking we were going to get even maybe just a cheeky finger. Like something, but we get zip. Well, sorry, we get a lot of spicy, sizzling, yearning, burning tension, but we don't get any.
And we do love the yearning, burning tension. Pretty positive. There's spice in book 3.
Yeah, but they're short. Like when I say they're short books, they're still fair sizes, but they're not like we're not talking like War and Peace.
Yeah.
So like 2 books actually And I think the way that the story runs, if that makes sense, because obviously the way Alyssa's writing it is it's like one big story that's been split up into like 4 sections. You actually, you know that you haven't come to the crescendo. Does that make sense? So like you don't feel like, oh, well, they should have banged by now.
Yeah. So basically they're trying to get to this place where the prophecy was said. And it's across a misty, weird, strange river.
Yeah, and Alric is the only person that's ever done this journey before.
Yeah, when he was a kid and he can't fucking remember any of it.
And all he says is like, basically, get on these. So they didn't plan to go on 2 boats. They thought they could all go on one boat because they have other men with them. And then when they get to like the port, the guy's like, we've only got boats big enough that you'd have to split across 2. So they split up into 2. And Alric just says, don't row. Don't do anything. Just sit in the boat and it'll take you where it needs to go. But they're literally on the boat for like 4 fucking days.
It gave me massive like Metal Slinger vibes.
Yeah, it did, yeah. And they're just freezing. And obviously you're on the boat with Juniper and Riven, not with Alric and the others. And you learn, well, no, it's not funny. I'm laughing. It's not funny. Someone gets eaten by a sea monster, like at some point,
and somebody's just gone when they get. Like she turns around and one of them's gone. Like because when they get there, it's just her, Riven, and who's on there? Ash. It's just the 3 of them.
The 2 men have gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just 3 of them left.
Yeah. And they get on this island and. Like, all Alric says is, like, you just gotta get to the top of the mountain.
And it's, like, fucking Hunger Games to get there.
Oh, yeah, they literally nearly die on, like, multiple occasions.
And they're, like, sliding down the mountain. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, and
there's, like, a dragon.
Yeah, then they come in, and they come through, like, a cave system, and there's dragons. At one point, it's so cold, they've all got to get naked and huddle up.
I kind of was hoping for something there.
Yeah, well, I honestly thought this whole Alric and Riven situation would be white shoes. I knew it wouldn't be because you would have told me.
Yeah.
But, like, I was a bit like...
But they're all getting naked and sleeping together for their body heat was hot.
Can we just jump back to where we just were just a second?
Yeah.
You know when they were in the inn and basically they didn't shag and she kind of smelled but she bathed in the morning?
Yeah.
And Riven doesn't care if she has short hair, he wants to fuck her. They wake up and they're like all entangled and his hand's like on his stomach. So they get to the castle.
And fucking Alric's journey has been a fucking walking
for like 3 days.
Had a lovely time. We just crossed straight through. There was a straight path straight up to the castle.
And we've just been waiting for you.
And they're like, we fucking all slept naked, shivering, nearly dying.
Lost 2 people on the way.
A dragon nearly had us. A boulder coming down the mountain nearly had us. Like, oh my God, they went through the fucking ringer.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Alric's like, we just strolled through.
Well, when they get to the castle, they realise, like, something's not right here. And I'm sure Riven says something about, like, wraiths. Or, like, some kind of something. Yeah. They fight through the wraiths. They get to the door, and it's fucking locked. And they're like, well, we're fucked. I think they spend one night camping outside. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, they go back to the door, and they're literally just like, we can't go round it.
Stumped.
We're fucked.
Can't go round it. Can't go over it. Can't go under
literally,
it. Gotta go through it.
Over it. We can't. So, yeah. But then Juniper puts her hand on the door, and they're like, oh, it's open. Riven still don't think you're Mage Queen, though.
Liar. Fraud.
Don't think you're the Mage Queen, but I'm the only one that can open this fucking door. They go in. No priests to be found. Some dead
persons to be found.
Well, no, but they find some dead men that are the Ender Queen's men because of their
their garb.
What they're wearing.
Yeah.
But what does happen is some freaky voice speaks to all of them, but it says different things to all of them. Basically tells Juniper, yeah, babe, you are the Mage Queen, but not quite yet. You're not quite ready yet. So bear with.
Thanks for coming, but come back later.
You're not supposed to be here right now. You know when you unlock a bit of a game, but you're not a high enough level to get there, and they're like, fuck off back to the beginning. That's literally what it's like. It's like, fuck off for a bit, and then come back when you're the Mage Queen. You're here way too soon.
Yeah. You haven't shown your magic. Fuck off.
And it doesn't tell you what it says to everyone, but all it says to Riven is, fucking trainer, you dickhead. And he's like, okay. Maybe I should.
Yeah. Maybe. Still don't believe she's the Mage Queen, but maybe. And then they've got to make the fucking journey back.
Yeah, and this was where I thought I was jumping backwards, but it isn't. It's this bit. They make the journey back. It's considerably.
Is she attacked walking back to their boat?
When they're
because
in the
they
jungle.
Can walk back through Alric's pathway, basically.
When they're in like the jungly bit.
She's attacked by like a witch.
Yeah, but honestly, right, when that bit happens, all the others are like, oh, Juniper's gone. But I think they're like delirious because they haven't eaten and stuff in days and they're really tired. But they don't even notice she's missing for like ages.
She gets dragged off.
Yeah, like by a vine. It like chokes her, I think. And Riven's like, oh, yeah, I suppose she haven't been here for a while. And they're all like, oh. And then Riven's like, do you know what? Just stand still. She'll be back in a minute. And they're like, just don't move because she might need to find us.
Oh,
And she's in like a pit in the ground, like hog-tied. And I want to say this, she's called like
the keeper of the woods, or the
I was gonna say queen of the jungle, but that's not what she's called. But yeah,
attendant of the woods.
But then I think Grove, Reaver, or Ash says she's like, do they call her the witch, like, or the witch something?
The wood witch.
Yeah, but she doesn't call herself that. But they tell...
no, she's I'm not a witch. I'm the attendant of the woods.
Yeah, but she's blue, I think.
Yeah, blue skin.
And she kind of says some weird shit to Juniper, and she lets her go. But Juniper lies to the group and says, oh, I stabbed her with Alric's knife and ran away. But
she took Alric's knife, didn't she?
She took it off her, but she didn't have to escape. She let her go.
Yeah. No, but I think she took it with her as well, didn't she? She's like, I'll have this.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. But I don't know why Juniper says, like, oh, I'm not going to tell them that she just let me go. I don't know why, like, I don't know why obviously she's got a reason to lie about it, but she doesn't tell them the truth. So eventually they get back to the beach, they eat some coconuts, and they get a boat back, effectively, and they get back to the mainland. They end up in this tavern, and this is where she wakes up, and she's in a separate room to Riven this time, and she runs in and she's like, oh, I'm in pain, I'm coming on my period.
Like, crippling pain.
Really bad. Yeah. At one point during the journey back, I think it's Ash and James, who's one of the like sentries, disappear for like hours together into the woods. And everyone's like, they're fucking. But then she comes back and Juniper's like, but you like women, don't you? And Ash is like, I don't. I'm kind of like, don't really mind. But then there's loads of tension between Alric and Ash, and everyone thinks they're gonna bang.
And then they're in the room together.
No, but it's not. I think it's Grove or Reaver that ends up banging him.
Oh, I can't remember.
I think Grove.
I remember Juniper going to his door and being like, I need one of the girls. And he's like, well, look behind me.
No, so she goes to Riven and says, where are the girls staying? I need to find them because I need help. And he's like, not a good idea. But she just runs off.
Yeah.
And then opens the door, and Alric's naked in bed with, I think it's Grove,
Okay.
And she's like, oh, okay,
cool.
And
guess we're not fake dating anymore.
And he's like, he doesn't give a shit. He's like, yeah, whatever.
He's swinging his knob.
She said he does just about pull it up. And then anyway, she takes her to this apothecary to get moonroot, and the guy's like, oh, didn't you hear moonroot was outlawed a few weeks ago by everyone, and if anyone tries to buy it, we've been told we've got to tell the crown. And Grove's, I think it's Grove, is like, well, we've been traveling, so we didn't know. And Juniper says, even if he does tell, surely there's going to be thousands of women across the land. And that's when Grove or Reaver, I can't remember who it is, says, no, didn't you know the three of us are like barren, we don't have periods, and like 2/3 of the population are. So that's why they've almost like done this, because they're trying to root you out. Yeah. Then the guy agrees to give her contraception instead, because that'll help, because he does have that. And then they leave, and then Riven's waiting for the man.
He kills him
because he sees him run in to tell the crown, and he kills him.
Woof.
Hot. So they get back.
Thanks, Dad.
They get back to the caves eventually, and they find out that Riven's ex, the fucking bitch, has escaped from the dungeon. So Riven strips of her title before they leave.
She's fucking steaming all the time.
Yeah, and she's showing up to training late and just being a knobhead, and he's like, right, fuck off to the dungeons. And he gives Alric her position. Alric's like, I don't want to be a general. And he's like, well, I don't care, you are. Yeah. And the whole way while they're traveling, he says, Alric, like, you're my general. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm not a general.
No.
I just want to be a spy.
But they put her in like a prison that's like in a cave on a cliff, and like if you can't get out because it floods.
Yeah.
So like you're just stuck in this.
They literally describe it, she vanishes from thin air. But he says there's no way she could have got out of it. So where the fuck has she gone? And then they get back. And I will say this was maybe a bit like jarring, but then at one point Juniper comes back to her room and all the priests are in her room.
My God, yeah, because they just turn back up.
And she's like, oh, And then Alric's dad's there. And Alric's dad...
It's all a bit fucking suspicious, isn't it?
And Alric's dad is a fucking knob. But all of them are. All the priests are not
my
very
God,
nice. And they're horrible to Alric. And he gets really heated with them. And admits, like... Because they say to him, oh, you had it easy. You were just fucking the queen. Like, no. And then he admits that she had them all castrated. So all the men had their balls chopped off. Now, I didn't Google this anatomically, but can you still get a hard on if you've got no balls?
Yeah.
Can you climax? Did you got no cum?
I was thinking that it was common practice, but I'm thinking of having your foreskin off.
Yeah, no. Can you have sex with no balls? Technically, you could still engage in sexual activity that have testicles. It's also called balls. Having both removed significantly reduces your ability to get an erection.
Oh.
Meaning most women experience a greatly diminished sex drive. Oh. And struggle to maintain an erection.
Oh, I'm sad.
Oh.
Poor Alric.
I don't think they've got hormone therapy or hormone replacement therapy.
Probably not.
Maybe we're getting a bit too deep into the nitty gritty, but anyway, not a good time for Alric. He gets very heated.
And the priests are fucking sus.
Yeah, they're literally only in it for like a tiny bit, but every interaction is like not nice. And then, you might remember, but then they basically then get called out on another mission.
Yes.
But Riven says he needs the best spies to go. Mm-hmm. So Alric, Reaver, Grove and Juniper. No, sorry. And Ash.
Is it because like there's been more monsters spotted in a
they go to find the girl that's gone missing, the prisoner. That's why he sends them.
Oh yeah. They've got to go to like the nearest town and like lay low and see
where she is. Yeah. So he says, "Well, I can't go because it's too obvious because everyone knows the commander, and like Juniper can't go because
she wants her dead."
So basically, everybody fucks off and leaves basically Riven and Juniper on their own. And he then obviously now has heard the words in the castle and agreed to train her.
The castle told me to train you, so I'll train you.
So he does train her one-on-one, but she's also doing training with the general army as well. And there's quite a few days of it. And basically the entire time...
She's with Leo the whole time, though, isn't she training one-on-one with Leo?
Yeah, but also, like, the entire time, like, all Riven's internal monologue wants to do is bang at her. And they have a few interactions. She gets really angry at him because she says, like, you blow hot and cold. You don't believe I'm the Mage Queen. You tell me you hate me. You act like you hate me. But then every now and then you'll, like, look at me with these lustful looks and touch me.
And I'm like, yeah, good for you. Fucking tell him.
Yeah, no, she says, like, you're a fucking head fuck and it's doing my head in. Because there's multiple, like, near scenes in the fucking seamy hot lagoon. He looks up her skirt, not in a creepy way, but she's like standing over him and he can see up her skirt. He finds her, that's it. When they go out and they get drunk, he finds her floating in the pool, like passed out drunk, and takes her back to bed naked because she says, I don't remember getting into bed. So obviously, like, he's down bad for her. But his reasoning for not doing it is because he knows he doesn't want to, like, push her, like, sexually. Yeah. But obviously she also doesn't have, like, the social cues to, like, do it as well. And he also admits later on in the book that, like, he knows that if when Juniper becomes the Mage Queen, he can't ever be her consort because he can't be king. So that's another reason I think why he's like, nah. But they spend quite a while at this point training each other. And all they want to do is bang each other. They're so, like, pent up and angry. Yeah. And there's quite a few interactions where they're like, I fucking hate you. Yeah. And then there's a final one in, like, the training arena type thing where
he's being quite mean to her.
Oh, he's a knob. I think he, like, grabs her face and he's like, we're not done.
Yeah, and he's like screaming at her.
She's like, I'm physically done. He's like, no, you're not. You're not done until you're, like, not dead, but, like, you tap out, you've got more. And he pushes and pushes and pushes. And she just goes and
releases all her magic, all that pent up magic.
What we did forget, sorry, at one point when they were traveling, is it Ash or one of them has magic? The fire, one of them shoots fire. I can't remember who it is. Reaver. But obviously, they say, like, because then Juniper says, "Well, maybe you are the Mage Queen," and she says, "No, I'm not. Like, I'm not the Mage Queen." But yeah, Juniper, like, it's like vines, like thorny vines.
But she just like fucking goes nuts and like basically like calls for her magic to save her, and its way of saving her is making like a big viney cocoon all around her.
Yeah, and that's how book 2 ends.
Any predictions for book 3 or what's going to come next?
This X is a big like player. I think she's somebody or going to turn
Riven's
out.
X.
Yeah, like, she's going to turn out to be someone.
He's such a prick.
Do
you think Juniper's the Mage Queen?
Yeah. Yeah. Of course I do. Yeah, she is the Mage Queen. I don't know. We find out really, really late in book 2. It's literally one sentence. And I had to reread it because I was like, what? And it's not talked about. Riven was the commander of the Ender Queen's armies. And then he flipped. It's literally like the end. Someone just says it. Like, I think it's Alric or someone, or maybe Leo. And I don't even know if they even say it out loud. Maybe he says it internally, and it's literally just like that, and that's it. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. So yeah, I think maybe it's just me, but I think he's got a lot more of a relationship with the Ender Queen than he's let on. I don't think he's like, oh, I had nothing to do with her and I just fucking hate her. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they're exes in some way, or him and her twin sister,
General Nova,
because she's the general now.
Yeah.
It's all very like,
yeah.
This is the thing with these books. Obviously, I've not read any of Alyssa Lonergan's books, but honestly, I like in the best way. I haven't got a fucking clue.
What did you give these books rating wise?
I think both 4 stars, 100%.
I can't remember.
Stars.
I'm sure I gave 1 5 stars, but it might have been book 3 that I gave 5 stars to. I think it's book 3, and I can't say anything, but so far, book 3's been my favourite.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I will say, like, I've really enjoyed both of them, thoroughly enjoyed it, but I do feel like I feel like the next book is where we get to the meat. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like, our plot has all been laid out now. We understand what's happening. We understand this prophecy castle and like all the monsters and stuff, and like
it's just about it's not that it hasn't been getting good, but I feel like we're like just on the precipice of the it's going
like snowballing downhill through the next book.
I feel like we've been building really so far, and like I've got my MMC Riven Don, I've got my Juniper FMC Don. I want them to like this. Yeah, I'm like waiting for it. And that's what I thought. I thought the final scene, that being the final scene with them, like that sexual tension, I was like, they either kiss, bang, or it's going to... I honestly thought Riven turned out to be a baddie. And I still think... I don't think he's... Not that I think he's like... He's very morally grey, but thus far, he's very much on the rebellion side. Like, he's got no, like, ties. Whereas Alric is a bit, like, of an in-the-middle character. I think Riven is way more connected to the Queen, and I don't think he was always playing for the right side. Does that make sense? Yeah. I think he was a lot more complicit than he lets on. I also think we're going to find out more, or actually have interactions, or get more information on Juniper's parents.
Yep.
She had a sister. She talks about having a sister at one point. That's very interesting. What are my other predictions? I'm still holding out that I think somebody in the close circle is going to double cross them in addition to Riven.
Ooh.
So either Alric, this Leo is suspicious, or this Livia. I don't think the 3 girls will now. Maybe one of them, maybe Ash. Don't know.
I should be writing all these down so that once you've read book 3 and 4, I can be like, remember you said this? Remember you said this?
What else have I got any? I wouldn't be surprised if Juniper turns out to be like the Queen's daughter, or like something. I don't know. Like maybe she's got purple eyes. That's all a bit weird.
Yeah.
The Queen's got purple hair, or like I don't know. There's some reference to like magical creatures in the beginning of book 2, and people are like descendants, because I think they talk about, is it Leo has like yellow eyes because he's a descendant of like a giant or something. Yeah, I don't know what else. I don't know. It's so difficult to judge. But those are like, I'm still very suspicious of everyone.
Yeah,
I don't even think I trust Alric.
Rightly so.
So
yeah. I think I gave book 1 and 2 4 stars each, or maybe like one of them got a 4.5. I can't remember now.
Yeah,
and then book 3 definitely is a 5-star read.
I'm so excited. I'm going to start it tomorrow.
Just because there's a lot more magic in book 3, so it feels more fantasy.
Yeah.
it feels a lot more fantasy in book 3.
Yeah, okay, fair. Is book 3 bigger than the first two? Would you say it's about the same?
I can't remember because I read them all in a day.
Yeah, I don't
like,
remember.
One day for book 1, another day for book 2, and another day for book 3. So I couldn't say.
5 hours, 1 min, so it's a little bit longer than the others. The others were about like 3 and a bit 4-hour reads, so it's a little bit longer.
But class.
Oh, I'm so excited to read this series, and I'm so excited to talk to Alyssa about it.
So next week we're doing book 3 and 4.
Yeah, so book 4 releases the 31st of Jan.
So it's out by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah. So again, next episode will be spoilers for the next 2 books, and then the following week we're talking to Alyssa.
Yes.
And obviously, if you've read anything else by Alyssa, we won't be spoiling any of that because we've only read this series.
Yeah.
So like, and then the week after that,
go on to The Memory Puller by Chris K. Haynes.
I'm so fucking excited for you to read this series. Like, I just can't.
Yeah.
Are you
excited? It's going to be my
excited?
next read now after I finish book 4.
Are you excited?
Yes, I'm very excited.
I need a blow by blow. I need to relive. Like, it's one of those series where I'm like, I wish I could delete it from my brain to read it again for the first time. It was fucking delightful. I can't wait to live it through your like.
Oh wait, I'm excited.
Especially the like, it's not a novella, but like
the Butcher and the Blackbird, as I keep calling it.
No, it's Butcher and the Ballerina. Oh, the MMC is fucking filth.
Woo!
And I'm, look.
Any parting words for Alyssa Lonergan?
For Alyssa, or just on the subject of?
Just on the subject
Hi,
of.
Alyssa.
Hi, Alyssa. Dear Alyssa.
No, I'm thoroughly enjoying this series.
Yeah.
Like, although I'm like not gutted, but like, although this is all I can read right now, I'm still chuffed because it's fucking class. I've loved it.
So one of our lovely listeners, Chunky Mama Book,
yes,
read this series based off our author spotlight, and she's ate up the first 3 and now was anticipating book 4 coming out, and she's loved it. So if anybody else has read it based off our author spotlight, please let us know your thoughts and feelings and what you've rated it, because it's interesting to know if the books that we chose as author spotlight books are books that you actually want to read.
We love to know.
Yes. Anything else?
No, it was such a big one.
It was a big one.
No.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at A Pod of Smut and Wingspan.
See you next week.
Bye.